Welcome to the GCO Network podcast, where it is our mission and our duty to keep the masses informed about what's going on in and around the Gambia. Not only that, but teach you how to to the motherland. Don't play with your girl. It's your girl, Apple Cree, driving and vibing with Willie J, Anxiety, and Adam.
Right.
What it do? How y'all feeling?
What's good?
Feeling
What's good?
good.
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 Y'all already know little Yaya back here making her appearances always. She got to be the star, so don't pay her no more. Yeah. All right, so we're going to get straight into the quote of the day by Willie J. What we got for me?
All right. So, quote of the day, it comes from an African proverb. So, do not look where you feel, but where you slipped.
I think that's gonna go over people's head for real.
Right.
Right.
Do not look
Right.
where you feel, but where you slipped.
Do you want to explain that?
Listen, in life we always have our moments, whether they be teaching moments. We don't want to say the negativity of somebody not being successful, but if you slipped or you had a little off moment, whether it be personal or professional, whatever that is, right? Listen, look back where you slipped so you don't slip again. Whether it's in your business, if you miss something, if you miss something in your household, you miss something in your bank account, you miss something, putting your business together, your LLC, planning a trip to the continent, you forgot to add something in, blah, 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 blah. But look back, because when you slip, you know where you slipped, right? Anybody in their life that's ever physically slipped on a slick surface, a snowy surface, an icy surface, whatever that is, you know exactly where that spot was, right?
Yeah.
So the same thing, exact same thing applies in life, in business, in your personal life, however you may want to look at it. So look where you slipped and don't slip again. Now you learn that lesson from that slip, that exact spot. Yeah.
That's too true.
That's heavyweight. I hope y'all caught that for the ones in the back. That really is. All right, so what we got for the news of the day, Willie J? My thing freeze.
All right. So there's several things our family from or in the Gambia, right? And this is from the World Health Organization, okay? And this is something, again, that, here at GCO, anything that we speak about as it relates to the Gambia or from personal experience, you can reference it and you can go and find and read it for yourself. We don't ad-lib here on information, but this is an article that's from Anuji Pant, and it's about World Health Organization flags India amounts of toxic chemicals, right? So this is called, it's spelled G-U-A-I-F-E-N-E. S-I-N. It's a cough syrup, and the box that they're showing here is green. It's in a green box. Gofficin syrup, TG syrup. It's a 100 milliliter box with the manufacturing date of 11/20/20, expiration date of 10/20/23. Okay.
Wow.
And the batch number is SL-429. Okay, so this is the recalled version. This is what they're saying. It's a particular product that has chemicals that can prove to be fatal when taken. And this is affecting folks in Gambia with the consumption of this drug, mainly for the deaths of several children already there in the Gambia. So we're looking, let me see, and it was manufactured by QP Pharmachem, QP PHARMACHEM Limited, based out of northern Punjab, that's in India. And so they're working to correct this now by direction of the World Health Organization. And if there's a or news to add and stuff, we'll do that in another episode as we find it out and we can confirm it. Right now, the chemicals were found in large quantities in Forcer sold in Gambia, and it was direct cause of the deaths of 69 children late last year.
Wow.
They were linked to this syrup that was manufactured in India. Okay,
that's sick.
And also it affected some folks in Uzbekistan, right? So the deaths in Uzbekistan of children was 19 children last year, linked directly to this manufacturing company that makes this cough syrup in India. Okay,
they killed over 80 children.
Uzbekistan's health, right? So Uzbekistan's health ministry is on the case as well. Okay, so there's some things that they're trying to put in place, and they're discussing and talking with Indonesia's health minister, and they're just trying to figure out what's really going on. So this was looks like it was in October of last year, and this is still in litigation, and they've halted sales of the syrup and liquid making, according to this article. But you and I both know that you can halt some stuff, and you just never know what store or who may have some extra. Or, it's just like having old cough syrup in your house, right? Who actually finishes all of their cough syrup, right? You only really use it for the amount of time or days you're sick. So you're not as apt to probably throw it away because you feel like, okay, it helped me, I felt better, so you hold on to it. Mm-hmm. But in this case, this is not the one to hold on to. And we just gave out the information that was able to track. So hopefully anybody that has any of this still in their cupboards or, in their storage somewhere, or they still holding on to it, whatever, please throw that away. And let's take care of our Gambian children and children that, abroad, period. Okay. So that's what I have for today.
I think that brings us to our
that's definitely something that I'm glad we brought back up, because like we was talking about earlier, that is something that's been going on for a while. It started peeking its head about a year ago, and that's when I seen a post on Instagram. Right. I don't know if you guys, family, y'all seen any of those posts where it kind of started circulating around a little bit, but that's something that's been going on for a while. So how long is it going to last? And it also speaks to holistic healing, us turning back towards holistic healing, because
herbs and
tinctures. if we teach ourselves how to figure out what herbs heal what and then use that for our kids, it'll help us to kind of mitigate these problems where they're pumping stuff purposefully into our food and into our drinks and into our medicines.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a whole nother episode about that. That's a whole nother good long conversation. But we continue to our next segment, which is off. And today, family, the word is Ana. Ana means where is. So you can say Ana, Ana, where is. So Ana, iPhone B. That's where is the iPhone. Ana, iPhone B. Where is the iPhone?
Ana, iPhone B.
Ana. Yes.
Yeah.
Where is the iPhone? So you can say Ana
Wow.
iPhone restaurant. Where is the restaurant? And that's a quick introductory to be able to say basic sentences.
Right. And it's weird when you start learning the language. It's weird like how they structure their sentences because, when we write, we would say, "Where is the?" But they put "the" at the end of the sentence of
Right.
their sentence.
And in some languages, family, you see like Spanish and stuff and things of that nature, they start the sentence backwards.
Right.
In other languages, they do that as well. So you
Right.
see commonality throughout different
Right.
cultures in the language when you start to learn different languages.
Right. But you can also
Right.
see where languages kind of start.
Exactly. You see origination. If you go from time frame of what was started, when it was started, and you really see the migration pattern of humanity through time. You can see the growth of language.
Right.
But yes, this week Ana is our word of Wolof. Where is?
Ana food court for chicken wings. Oh yeah. I know, right? I know.
Okay, family. I think we got Cree back in here.
Good.
Hey, family, can y'all hear me?
We got you.
All right,
We
bet.
got you good.
Good old technology. So I'm on the phone. So look, we're gonna keep it rolling and strolling, right?
There you
Right.
go.
So I think we're ready for the news segment. Is that what we on?
Yeah. We're hopping into our news segment.
Oh no, we just did the news segment. Actually, that was with the health, with the cough syrup. We're into the topic of the day.
Oh Lord.
All right.
Y'all, we just all over the place right now.
We're into the topic of the family. And the topic of today is purchasing land in Gambia.
Now we have a unique group because we have two people in our GCO network that can actually speak to this.
Mm-hmm.
So we will give the floor up to Cree because she actually is on a journey with her parents and they started this process way before.
Yeah, she's farther along in the process.
Adam and I have started the process. So Cree, what was your experience with you and your parents when y'all were purchasing land?
Yeah, so it was kind of a extended process because of the different avenues you have to go through in order to first find land and then two, make sure it's legit and the person that you are purchasing from is indeed the owner or an authorized agent of said property. So it was an experience. It took how long? I want to say it took, I can't say the exact time, but I want to say it took 9 months to a year to actually get the papers for the land to say, hey, this is your land. So it was a very extensive process. It was not just like, boom, bam, here the deed.
So did y'all go through a company?
Yeah, I went through a company. Well, we went through a company.
Okay. When y'all went to the land, how was it?
Well, for me, initially, I wasn't there for that process. So my parents were there for that initial process as far as actually going to the land, seeing the land, the actual land that we purchased. Now, when I was there, I looked at various amounts of land. But the one we actually purchased, I did not see that land until we got the papers for the land. That's when I actually saw the land, which was just this year. But we purchased it last year.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a very extended process still, even with going through a company, because the way the paperwork is done there is not the same as what we're used to here. It's not the same. So it's not like oh, I'm gonna buy this. I see this land on, let's just say Zillow, right? For those who don't know what Zillow is, it's just a, a marketplace where you can buy and rent homes and land. So you go to Zillow, you see a piece of land, you contact the agent or the owner. You see, as long as you see that deed, that's what holds things up here. So there is not the same thing. It's people that it goes through. You know what I mean? And there are papers. It is paperwork too, but it's still different. It's just not the same. So you have to be very cautious and take precaution when purchasing land and going through someone whom you trust, reaching out to people who have already purchased land. Not to say they're going to help you purchase it, but they'll be able to help you pinpoint, hey, this don't seem right. Did you talk to this person, that person? Kind of guide you in the right direction type thing.
Right.
So that's very important when buying land in Gambia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
How about for y'all?
Okay.
That. Well,
yeah.
we got some points about it for sure. And our first one, because we're in the process of the land, purchasing the land, and like starting to develop on the land and stuff. So our advice, like we got some advice for people, like how much do you want to spend? So when it comes to you purchasing land, you got to really have that in mind, because you don't want to go in with an unrealistic thought process, thinking, okay, I can just go to this place and the price point of American dollars to the country is so different, I'm be able to afford anything. Right. You don't ever want to think that. You're able to have a realistic amount of money you want to spend in your head. We went into it thinking, okay, how much do you want to spend for what we're trying to get? Okay. And then so after we got how much we wanted to spend, we thought, okay, we need to do research. And so the next thing you want to do is, you want to do your research. You want to research the laws of what it takes to actually get land in that country, because not every country is the same as far as being able to acquire land. Like in the UK, it's very hard, almost impossible to get land. In Gambia, they have land owned by villages. They have land owned by government. They have land, public land. So there's different things that might be over the specific land that you're trying to get, which has led to some disputes in Gambia. Like in the Ganjour area in Gambia, there's a land dispute going on because, it's some area of it is village land, and some people have made payments and they're finding out that actually, you made those payments, but it's not going to anywhere because you don't own that land still. And so, you got to do your research, make sure you know the laws of the country you're going into. Make sure you know if you can even own land. Make sure you know if you can have a permanent lease or a 100-year lease, because some countries like Nigeria and Ghana, they have some things like a 100-year lease is very, very common. In Gambia, they have that too, but it's not as common. And so, the research is one of the most important things. And so next is the go ahead, baby, you click it. This what is for, right? So what are you using the land for? Are you using it to just build a home? Are you using the land to do agriculture? Are you using the land to build a building or an office space, or something residential or commercial? Like what are you using the land for? And these are all things that you need to take into consideration before you come to Gambia. You need to know, are you going there just to retire? Are you going there to start a business? Are you going there to invest? Like what are you doing that for? And that'll help you with your land buying and house purchasing decisions. Okay, so next we have finding a good land or housing agent, which Crete, you spoke on this a little bit because it's very important, because there'll be hidden costs in there. And what people don't realize is every place that agent shows you, you have to pay. So they take you to a place, you're paying them to show you the house, to come and open the door. You're paying them. In America, it's different. In America, the real estate agent comes and, they show you the house, high and buy. But in Gambia, before you leave, they're going to have their hand out saying, okay, how much you going to pay me? So, and usually beforehand, that already be discussed and you'll know, but just expect that, there's going to be hidden costs. There's going to be things you might not, you might not know beforehand, but finding a good agent is important because of course, connections are everything. And that agent might know more houses or more apartments. Cause I know last time we went, we were looking for a place to stay when we returned this October. And we went through a couple of different people, and we met some crazy guys, and we almost went through a situation in the neighborhood, looking for houses where we met a crazy gentleman. But that's another story for a story time. But anyway, having a good agent is very important, because you don't want to get lost in the neighborhood looking for a house by yourself.
Right. And I would encourage you to not try to go look for homes yourself, just because even if you do your research and you feel like you done got to know this person, and you think that you about to go to this house and pretty much do everything yourself, you're gonna get caught up. They're gonna figure out how they can get more money out of you, how they can scam you, and don't do it. Just don't do it.
Yeah, it better to be safe than sorry. So next we have travel costs to land or the house that you're trying to rent or purchase. So of course, right, if you're repatriating there, or you're a tourist there, or you're looking to invest, you're just over there. If you don't have your own vehicle, right, then you got to think about the cost to get to your land. Your land might be 40 minutes away, an hour away, there and back, right? And you got to see the cost of the fares for the taxis are there. It's a regular pricing, right? Some of them will give you the actual chart, but a lot of them will freestyle it and try to give you whatever they want to have you charge. So make sure you know what the actual fare rates are, because the pricing and the amount you pay to get there, your fuel costs will build up. It can build up. So definitely, if you have a vehicle, that's best. Sometimes the agency that you're getting your land from, you're able to ride with them, and so you can pay them and they'll take you. So there's different ways to go about that, but definitely have that in mind. The travel costs to your land and back to or to your home and back, because that's very important. And so next we have look for the good signs in the business. Now this is after you find whoever you want to work with. You find that agent, you find that company that you want to go with that has land that you're trying to purchase, right? You want to look for signs that they're doing good business. Like for us, we went through Biamo Group, and there's a great channel, Jody and AP. They're advocates of Biamo Group. That's how we heard about them, and they're very clear about what they're doing, and so they do very good business. When we went in there, we saw not only repatriates, Americans, people from UK buying land, but we also saw local Gambians buying land too. So that's all. That gives you a whole different battery in your back, because you're like, okay, I know even if I'm going back home to America, there's still people here locally that are coming up here every day, seeing these people making payments. This is real. If you screw these local people over, they can knock on your door that same day, like, hey, what's going on? So it gives you a little bit more reassurance that they're doing business with their people and they're doing business abroad too. So you got to look for those good business practices. So that was a glaring thing. So next for us was so when you walk into any place, and this doesn't matter if it's a real estate company, if it's an agent, whatever, when you walk into any place, you want to make sure that they have good systems in place. Because you walk into some place to buy land and they say, okay, yeah, come into our offices, and it's just an office. That's it. You walk in there and it's just somebody sitting at a desk. More than likely, that's not credible. Something's wrong there. When we walked into Biamo Group, they had departments. They had their accounting department. They had their people that handled the phone calls. They had their people that handle all of the banking stuff. There's different departments going on. You got to make sure that it's actually operating in a working system. Checks and balances, as they say here in America. But you want to make sure that there's proper departments and systems in place, because those are everything that lets you know that you're making a decision that's 100% precise. And so next for us was we had to make sure that the paperwork was on point. And so our brother Will here, the Gambian glue, luckily before we went to buy land in Africa, he actually gave us a rule of thumb that we could actually go through, and that helped us. Baby, you can switch to the next slide. We got a couple slides for y'all. This slide right here is showing basically Biamo Group. They gave us a layout of phase 4. This is where we're going to be having our land at. This is where our land is going to be at, and it's just a layout of all the plots that are available. We purchased 4 of the plots that were available. You can go to the next slide. And right here, this is the land, the different pieces of paperwork that you'll get. Now you see here, you got the Akalo transfer, you got the physical planning, you got the land use report, you got your sketch plan, you got your administrative services, and all of these pieces of paper are paperwork that you'll get once you're completed your payments and everything like that. You'll have them to show that you're the owner of that land. Now, you can either go through the company or you can choose to go and do it yourself. Now, if you go and do it yourself, it might be a little hairy because you're a tourist, you're American, whatever you might be, and they can hear that accent. So your pricing might be different for each piece of paperwork, and then they might not know your face. And so the people at the company, they're there regularly, so they can probably breeze right through, right? And so you'll be able to get that paperwork back faster, potentially. So, there's things to consider. So if you can get a company that you can purchase your land and get the paperwork done with them, in our opinion, that's the best way to go.
Right.
It streamlines everything.
Right. This speaks to what Cree mentioned when she was saying it took them about 9 months to get that paperwork too. For us, even after we finish our payments, it's still going to take us at least 4 months, two to 4 months before we'll actually get these documents that say, hey, this is yours, and we can do, be on there and do whatever we want to do. But the paperwork is going to take time.
Paperwork is the longest process.
This is just basically us telling y'all to make sure that they're going to give you those pieces of paper, but you're not going to get those pieces of paper as soon as you're finished making the payments. When you finish making payments, that's when they actually start the process. So now you got to wait through that process, which could take a good long while.
And be sure you bring up each name, because sometimes if you don't know, they won't tell you, right? So if you don't say, oh, okay, what about the Colo transfer? What about the physical thing? And then you say those two, right? But you don't say, what about the land use report? What about the sketch plan? If you don't say those two, well, what if they don't include those two?
Right.
Now you're running around, and years down the line, you run into a problem where you have some issue with your land and you never got that paperwork. Mm-hmm. So that the paperwork is very important.
And at that point, family, if they're not giving you the information that you already know you're supposed to have, that might be a sign to walk away before it's too late. You don't buy land from them. Don't go through that avenue. Don't keep doing business with them, because it's already showing you that they're doing something underhanded and they're not really trying to help you accomplish what you're trying to accomplish.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so this is the last slide here, and my wife, she can explain that a bit more.
Well, this one is just, I wanted to include this one for you guys because this kind of we were talking about this earlier. This kind of slapped me and Adam by the face, because we honestly, all this research that we had been doing, we never heard about this. We never knew about this. This was our first time hearing that whenever, you go and you actually sign a contract and you about to make those payments, they want you to have witnesses.
And this is something that a lot of companies, you might not hear that from.
Right.
They might not tell you need a witness, because if anything happens legally, right, you would want a witness to say that, yes, they went in there, they paid this money, they made this contract with them at this specific date and time. Because, and usually 2 witnesses, you want 2 witnesses, but it's very important. And so the witness signs off, we sign off, and the other individual, the company that you're dealing with, they sign off too. Their stamps are there as well. And this is very important.
Yeah, because you want somebody to be able to, and it doesn't have to be, if you can get anybody, literally, if you can get anybody that you can go back to later to help you do that. Don't pressure yourself to make you feel like it got to be somebody you know for years. Don't pressure yourself to make you feel like it got to be somebody, that you always talk to every single day. You just need somebody that you can get back in contact with eventually if you ever need to. And somebody that has a physical body that can use their arm and sign a piece of paper.
Exactly. But that's the paperwork, in a nutshell. Of course, there's a little bit more into it as far as like your actual contract, but that's completely different. But you need to make sure that those pieces of paperwork, that you speak about them and that they give those to you. So our next thing after paperwork is the transparency. And transparency is super, super, super important, because you want them to be, you want to be able to see that your land is being worked on. You want to be able to see that there's progress being made. You want to be able to see that you can contact and you can get to the people and work with them if there's ever an issue. You want to be able to see that they're actually true in their business practices. Like, for instance, the company that we're working with, Biamo, every, I want to say 2 to 3 weeks, they post update videos about their business, about the land, about where they're trying to go strategically with their company. There different promotions and holiday things that they do. Like for instance, this past Christmas, they had a thing where they took and they bought like 1,000 presents or 100 presents for women in need at the time. And so they're very transparent with their business, their business culture and their business practices. And that's very important. You want to be able to know that, okay, this is not some shadow company that all I see is a picture of them saying that they sell land and I contact the number and that's all I have communication with. You want to have a company that you're very transparent with. And that's also with, your receipts, right? Because we make payments and they're punctual with the receipts. They're punctual when you ask them for any billing information.
They're not punctual.
Well, Gambia, they wake up at 3:00 in the morning to where we are. So it seems like a day. So to us, it's not immediate, but we got to wait till they wake up. But it's punctual as far as, I'm not waiting a week. Within 48 hours, I get my information. So now the last thing I would say is you want to go on a leap of faith. A leap of faith, a little grain of faith is always in there. Nothing is 100% perfect. In any buying land anywhere in the world, buying a real estate, buying a home anywhere in the world, there can always be something that you didn't expect. You see a picture of a house, you say, "Oh, the house is great." You get there and the foundation has a crack in it. Or you get to a building and the building's nice. You get inside, the roof has a leak in it. There's always something that's not going to be perfect. But you got to make sure that you do your due diligence, you do your research, you make sure you put your ear to the ground, you make sure you're humble too to take insight when people tell you, "Oh, that don't sound right," or "This don't sound right," because that could be the ancestors letting you know something. So you definitely need to have faith too. And it's funny because when we went to purchase our land, we heard these exact words from somebody there purchasing land. She said, I saw Biamo Group and I took a leap of faith and it worked out and everything was good.
And that lady she purchased her land while she was still in the States. She had never been to Africa before. She had never talked to anybody in person. She just said that she did it. She felt like, this was the way to go. And they were transparent, like Adam said, with her. And she was able to purchase land while she was, in her living room.
And see, that transparency, though, was a big part. And that's why I put that in there, because if somebody is really transparent with you, they're giving you their bank statements. They give you their bank account number. Nobody has to give you that. They give you their social security card and all that. They that transparent with you. Okay. Come on now. Anything happens, you can trust them more than somebody that's shady. So they were so transparent to where she felt comfortable. She took the leap of faith, and now she owns land in Africa. Her ancestors rejoicing.
Right.
So
and she was the first one in her family to that down there, which is a common story. But while we were talking to her, she said her mom and a couple of her friends said, "Hey, you do this, you take the leap of faith, you go down there, you show us that everything is legit, and you come back, and give us a thumbs up, and we're going to follow you. We're going to do the same thing." And so you taking that leap of faith could inspire the people behind you. So definitely, lean on your spirit.
Yep. You taking it over the edge.
Well, I think that's all that we got to say. Cree, you gonna jump in?
Yeah, I didn't know if I was on or not because it be going in and out. Good old technology.
Right.
Oh yeah. So y'all hear me sometime, but don't. But yeah, I was just gonna say I agree with you guys on everything that you presented to the fam today. It's important to do your due diligence in anything that you get into anywhere in life, but especially when you're in a new country. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you do your research. Do your research, and if you have questions, reach out to people that who doing the dang thing. You know what I mean? And when I say people who doing it, I mean the GCO network, because we don't talk about it, we be about it, and it is what it is. So just take heed to what we're telling you, what we're telling you all, and know that we're speaking from experiences and also experiences and personal knowledge. And in this group, we have a lot of knowledge on the ground and in other areas in life, but we ain't gonna talk about all that because that's a lot. We'll be here for the rest of the year. But with that being said,
Right.
um, do the family have anything else to lay upon the spirits of the people before we dip on out from?
Yeah, I just feel like this is so well timed and perfect because this may be another episode or so because um, you know all the different types of land that's available,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's
Right.
freehold, whether it's what is freehold, and that's something we can get into later, and who owns what and all that stuff, and that's stuff that Adam talked about earlier and stuff, and how long and who has what and all that good stuff, and they was there a lawyer experience, Adam Zadie? Was there a
No, we
lawyer
never, we
involved at
never,
all?
we never,
They
we
they
never
they
had a
had
lawyer
they had
involved.
they had their own lawyer there, but not like
Okay.
in the building. They had their own lawyer.
Right, and I'm glad you guys said that. The reason why I even asked that question because I want people to understand that what you're talking about is actual and factual, and what the Gambian government has done. Because there were some issues a couple of years ago, and it's documented. It's on YouTube. It's been posted by hundreds of YouTubers and folks traveling in and out of Gambia and what have you. About the issues they had with land purchase and all that stuff. And so what the Gambian government did is the Gambian government said, "Hey, we're gonna make it now. If you don't have these paperwork in this order, with the lawyer verifying the ownership and all of the checkpoints and paperwork and stuff that's needed to complete the process, then it's illegal." So there's a built-in protection now, is what I'm saying. So,
Right.
the leap of faith, yeah. At some point on the continent, you gotta take a leap. You listen, you take a leap in America, first of all.
Yeah, you
Oh yeah,
leaping every
oh yeah.
day.
But
That's what I'm saying. Anywhere you go,
yeah,
Yeah.
and uh, you know, and like we said in previous episodes, getting used to the administrative process is different. It's just different.
Right.
Um, and you get that, and I want people to understand you get a different process based off the technology available to streamline the process. So,
Mm-hmm.
if you didn't have all the things you needed here in America, it would be the exact same long process like it used to be.
Right.
So,
Develop.
there's some things now you don't even close with the same person that you went through with. There's people that are just closing agents. All they do is close the documents out for you to complete the purchase.
Yep.
Right.
Right.
You're right.
And I think that's going to start happening, more so on the continent, specifically in Gambia, and they're going to get better with their processes. But like you guys just saying, I'm just going to reiterate: do your research. But there is nothing like being on the ground, and you just heard that from Anxiety and Adam, and Cree, where her and her family making purchases on the ground. I haven't made any purchases, particularly in land yet, but that is coming, and I'll definitely make my contribution when that time
But
comes.
Will, you know what it's like. You know what it's like purchasing a building though, your own space.
Right, 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 right. So
That's
that
different.
and that purchasing, or purchasing or renting, whichever direction you try and go in, it's a little bit more streamlined because it's established already when you get there.
Mm-hmm.
So, you only have to talk to one of those owners because a lot of times what you'll see and what I found out too is there's an entire family that owns that strip of buildings or those apartments.
Really?
Right.
Okay.
There's never one singular owner. There's usually a one family or multiple families that have come together, put their money together, and purchased an asset, and now they're using it to make income, right?
Yeah.
So I found that out, when getting the building, for the ice company and factory and stuff, and going through those processes, and you be like, oh, so I didn't know that. I thought it was one person. No, it's multiple people. Now there may be one voice or one person that you actually physically see and speak to. But that process versus you guys' process is way more streamlined. It's a lot faster, and it's just not as complicated because I'm not doing exactly what you're doing. So I'm just asking for space to conduct business, whereas you guys are building a community, a home, right? So, but we can definitely talk about that space and doing that stuff later on in another episode or something. But they go by the human verification. That's the whole point of them doing the whole can somebody sign? Because they do that. They do that also too, a little bit on the business side.
Okay.
You'll have to, they want to physically see, hey, because they'll come out and check your business. A lot of folks don't even talk about that. They'll come out, right? One of those government offices will come out and like, okay, is this person actually here? Do they? Is the store they actually have? Are they selling, or is this business actually what they say the business license is for? Right. So there's a couple different things that happen that go on that a lot of folks don't really even talk about. You know what I'm saying? So
that's almost like they Better Business Bureau that come out and check you.
Right. And I had to go through this especially when with the health organization, the food and safety, right? So food and safety came out because of the business that I'm in with ICE, it's treated as though I own and operate a restaurant. So I had to reconfigure the space and to bring that to code or to standard to be actually certified in the public, so I don't have to sneak around and sell ice illegally and take the chance of selling somebody a product that's unsafe, right? So, which is why we went ahead and did what we did as far as filters and filtration and all that stuff. So, but once again, it's about checks and balances and all that good jazz. And I'm just excited about all the information that's come out today.
Oh yeah, it's been some heat, some fire that's been spit out today.
Oh yeah.
Hope y'all got all extinguishers ready and
right.
ready. Oh yeah.
Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment, please.
Absolutely.
Share, go back, watch our previous videos. We don't got nothing but heat coming to you guys, nothing but truth. And we're trying to give you a real perspective from individuals that's actually been there. And we have a lot more features coming up with different people we're going to have on the show. So we always want you guys to look out for that. And also, if anybody has any advice or anyone you want us to have on here you think we could potentially reach out to, let us know that too, because all insight is good and all information leads to a better production.
Absolutely. It's good stuff. Good stuff, guys.
Absolutely. All right, family. Well, we appreciate y'all for rocking and thriving and vibing with us with the GCO Network family. We appreciate all of you for all you do and supporting us. And we are going to let you go enjoy the rest of your morning, evening, or night. Whatever time you thriving and vibing with us.
All right.
All right. Until next time, peace.
Bye, guys.
Peace.
All right.
Bye.
Take care.